Hey everybody, I'm Katie McDoyle and this is Hello everybody, Happy New Year 2025. Can you believe it? I can't quite believe it. Being a child of the 80s, I specifically remember thinking 2025 is so far in the future. There's no flying hoverboards, although there's been prototypes. I know. There's no flying cars, although we're getting there with the drone cars. Have you seen those? Madness. But 2025, and I still feel like a kid. I don't feel my age. I hope you all feel the same way as well. It's nice feeling like a kid. I hope nobody ever feels like they're a grown-up. That sounds dead boring, doesn't it? Anyway, I ramble. Hello everybody, happy 2025. I'm kicking off the podcast episodes again, which I know some of you will be glad to hear. Hopefully all of you will be glad to hear. There's going to be some changes. So what I've learned from doing the first 2 seasons of the podcast is it's a lot of hard work. I'm sure everybody can appreciate that, especially to all of you that do your regular Instagram posts or Facebook posts and YouTube channels. It's a lot of work, which is great, and I'm so grateful to be part of this community. But I need to control the controllables, and that's the way that I approach things and my approach to life. So I will be doing episodes as and when I can. No more seasons. So I'll just pop out episodes when I can, sometimes solo episodes, depending on what you tell me you want to hear about. And also hopefully be doing some episodes with different detectorists that have been on already for a sort of catch up. I'm so grateful that I've made a lot of friends through metal detecting, and specifically the podcast, from all over the world. So people will pop in here and there, I hope. I was so grateful for everybody that, gave a bit of their time to come in on the podcast and sharing their stories. It's difficult because life is busy, right? We've all got friends, family, jobs, loads of stuff going on. So appreciative, and still so appreciative to M Loves Old Stuff and Miss Detectress and Detectorost and Carl, the mental detector, for their time and dedication getting out all of the Detectorists on the Detectorist episodes. That was a grind, guys. Peek behind the curtain. That was tough, but I was so grateful to them, and just so glad that you all enjoyed that series in between the regular podcasts. It was so much fun. I haven't seen the Detectorists on any of the channels over Christmas, actually. You usually see them appearing, but I guess there's not like a real festive episode, is there? I'll have to look that up and see where that is on the TV right now, or where you can watch it. I'm guessing it's still on the iPlayer. I would check it out. It's a lot of work. And when I started the podcast, I was having a bit of a career break, as the corporate world likes to call it. Basically, I left one job and wanted to have a bit of a break before I went to another job. And then I started that job in January, which has been fantastic. I'm loving it. But obviously that means I have less time for detecting and doing the podcast and all that good stuff. I've also been struggling with the migraines, guys. You've heard me speak about them before, I think, but I'm now on some amazing treatment for those. So hopefully that will be all good too. But the one thing I love and I've been missing doing is metal detecting. Now, I had some classic old person bulging discs since about August. So I've had to be really careful. I've been feeling better, than going to the gym, and then they're hurting again. We had to treat ourselves to a fancy schmancy bed and mattress, which has really helped actually. And now I'm feeling better, fitter, stronger. So I still haven't been out detecting since August. I went out with Paddy Detects and cameraman Andy. And then I went out once myself in one of my permissions. If you saw on Instagram, I was doing a strip of land with the DS2 and then the same strip with the ORX to see if the DS2 I just sniffed everything out and the RX wasn't going to get anything. I'll talk about that more later. And then I was basically in extreme pain, and digging lots of holes wasn't a good idea. So I haven't been out digging since August, and I am missing it. And I would say only in the last week or so I've been thinking about going out again, especially since obviously the ground is nice and soft right now. So now would be a good time. I might treat myself to an hour at some point in the next week and see how that goes. And just be really sensible, which isn't something I can usually do. With my ADHD, it's all or nothing generally. So yes, I'm going to be more sensible this year. And that brings me to the podcast, as I say, ad hoc episodes, solo episodes, guest episodes, but there'll be no fixed schedule to them. They'll come out as and when, and I just won't put that pressure on myself to do the sort of weekly must-have, comes out every Sunday, all that jazz. And like I say, there won't be seasons. They'll just come out whenever and keep the podcast going. And I'm just really grateful that people have enjoyed it. People have missed it. People have been checking in, asking when it's coming back. So many messages, which is so lovely. And I'm just very grateful, like I say, for all the virtual friends I've made through the podcast. So this is the first of those episodes. And also as part of the working smarter is I won't be editing so much. So the editing, I use a platform called Podcastle. It was generally quite new when I started using it. So in the earlier episodes where some of the sound quality isn't great, it's just basically because the editing software wasn't great. And if the person I'm talking to doesn't have a good microphone, there's only so much AI that can help clear up the audio that's recorded. And if their broadband's a bit wonky, all that jazz, it takes a lot of time to try and edit. But I'm going to go more on the fly and not edit so much. So if I say a wrong word or if there's lots of you'll have to bear with it, guys. I'm going to try and do this in a way that I enjoy it. So I keep doing it. So the last thing I want to do is burn myself out again and not do the podcast anymore, because I really, really enjoy it. And I don't get anything from the podcast. It costs me to make the podcast. I just love doing it and speaking to all of you and making all of these wonderful connections and new friends. So this episode, I thought I'd do a bit of a review. See, there you go. I would have normally edited that out. Review on the year gone past. So I'm going to go back through, look at my Instagram and the podcasts and remind myself what was going on for the months. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the followers on Instagram as well and randomly pick someone. So I'm just going to scroll, pick someone and then look at some of their posts for each month as well and give them a shout out and something they've found. And then I will say goodbye, adieu, and we'll go from there. Right, let's talk stats, because I know a lot of you like to hear stats about the listenership on the podcast. I need a jingle, don't I? Stats. Right, looking at Acast, who is my platform for the podcast. Over 15,000 listeners, top countries, so 58 countries around the world. Hello to, I'll just read out the top 10. So the top country, of course, United Kingdom, swiftly followed by the United States. Then we have Australia, Belgium, Germany, Canada, Singapore. Really surprised about Singapore. Hello, Singapore. Ireland, Netherlands, and Sweden. They're the top 10 countries for listenership, which is very interesting. And then if I go over to Spotify specifically, they do some really good stats, and I like to see the breakdown of the audience in terms of gender, because I'm really interested in how the representation of the genders are in metal detecting. I don't know, I would hope that the listenership was kind of reflective of what you see when you're out and about on the fields, on the group digs. And interestingly, the stats currently are going up for females. So male audience for listening to the podcast is 68.1%. Females 28.2%. That's the highest I've seen it. 2.7% not specified on Spotify. So that means that when people have set up the Spotify, they've not specified. And then 1% non-binary. So that's fantastic. And then looking at ages, so the highest grouping for ages is the 45 to 59-year-olds at 44.5%. 44.5%. 9.5% are 60 plus. 27.7% are 35 to 44. Obviously, this is relying on people putting in their actual correct age. I know we all like to be 21, but I think that's reflective of what you see on the fields. And then on the younger side, 0.3% are between the age of 0 and 17. Don't think we've got any toddlers on the fields yet, but we're getting close to it. 0.7% 18 to 22 and 6.2% 23 to 27 years old. 0.4% are unknown in terms of age. So yeah, that's really interesting. And then the stats for country just on Spotify, very similar to the actual overall platform provider, which is Acast. So on Spotify, United Kingdom number 1, United States number 2, Netherlands, Croatia, Belgium, Ireland, Australia, Canada, India, interesting, and Germany at number 10. And then it goes on and on and on. There's an unknown country. Ooh, could that be the space station? I'd love it if they'd listen to the podcast on the space station. If you're on the International Space Station and you have listened to the podcast, please, please, please do reach out to me on the Detecting History Podcast at gmail.com, or on Instagram, Detecting History Podcast, or on Instagram at KT Metal Detects. Okie dokie. Let's start with looking at January. So January, the first thing that appears in my Instagram is me talking about that Finders Keepers show. I'd seen the advert for Finders Keepers with James Buckley and Neil Morrissey on metal detecting, and how I didn't like it, to be quite honest. I didn't like the fact it was going to portray a couple of metal detectorists doing naughty things. And I think I watched half of the first episode just because I personally feel to have an opinion, you need to watch these things or experience things. And I couldn't face watching any more of it, frankly, because the acting was so terrible. And I know a lot of people felt the same way. Did anyone actually watch it to the end? Was it any good? Let me know. That would be interesting to find out. And then early January, I had a lovely day out, my first day out with Paddy, at Paddy Detects on Instagram, and Paddy's cameraman, his dad. They were very kind to invite me out to one of their permissions. We live quite near each other, so that was lovely, and we had a great time. I had a few great digs with Paddy and his dad. They came to my permission, and then I went and hurt my back and had health stuff, so I haven't seen those guys for a long time. So that was fun. That was so much fun, and I was on one of his YouTube videos. Do go and check out his channel. He's so good at presenting, and his videos are excellent too. And boy oh boy, do they find some good stuff. Really professional detectorists. Then I had the wonderful surprise in January 16th, of getting an amazing coin pod from SND Detectorist Luke. So on Instagram it's Sierra November Delta and then the word Detectorist. He does these amazing coin pods, and he does all this 3D printing, and he was on for an episode where he talked all about how he does it, and he made me a coin pod with the logo for the podcast on the front. I was so grateful for that, and it's just such a wonderful business idea. And he was such a lovely chap again, and very knowledgeable metal detectorist. Found some wonderful things. So yeah, that was fun. What else did I see and do in January? So we're still ploughing through the Detectorist on the Detectorist episodes. We were in season 1 at that point. I shared some stats. Oh, so this is good, what I just spoke about. So 16% of the listenership were female back then in January last year. And now it's up to, what did I say? 28.2%. So there you go. Either just more ladies are finding the podcast, or maybe more ladies are joining the hobby. Who knows? And then myself, on some personal detecting, I went out and found a lovely Roman leadweight, and I found a Trojan Roman on one of my missions. I don't find a lot of Roman coins. I know they're here, I just haven't found a lot. But yeah, I found those, so that was good. So I think that was January for me. So now let's go and have a look at some of the followers and pick a person at random and see what they found. Okay, so randomly scrolling on Instagram, I stopped on Nikki's Digs. So that's NICKYS_DIGS. And Nikki, in January 21st, 2024, I can see that you found a very interesting find on the 21st of January, and that was a World War II British time fuse for an British anti-aircraft gun. It's massive. It's all cone-shaped, massive. It's got a bit of a serial number on there. Yikes. It looks amazing when you've cleaned it up as well. But yeah, I think if I'd have found that, especially the pointy end, I would have backed away. Wow. Brilliant. Obviously completely safe because it's just the fuse end. But yeah, bear in mind, folks, if you find something that does look a bit dodge, back away, call the authorities. I know a lot of you do, especially the people on the beaches. There's a lot of weird things found on beaches, right? Old grenades and whatnot, dummy mines. Hope nobody actually finds an actual mine. But yeah, if in doubt, always back away from these things. But that's such an interesting find. I live, as I've said many times, at a place where there's an airfield that was used a lot in World War II. And yeah, you find lots of different bits and pieces, caps, badge, all that kind of stuff. Lots of evidence. And we forget, don't we? We forget what went on in the world back then and what still goes on now around the world. So yeah, be careful. But that's such an interesting find. Hello, Nikki. Go and check out Nikki on Instagram. Right, what happened in February? In February, I can see I shared a little video about my first ever detector, the Treasure Cove. I have news on that detector. I'm actually doing a bit of a clear out. And I'm selling a load of stuff. I have collected lots of gaming gear, lots of various different bits and pieces over the years. At the beginning of a new year, I don't know about you guys, but I like to do a massive spring clean and clear things out. So I am selling a few bits and pieces, of which I am currently selling that first detector, which I love, but it's just sat there doing nothing, gathering dust. And I live in a little small cottage, and so the time has come to part with my lovely Treasure Cove detector. So I'm selling that. I am also breaking news. When I spoke earlier about that test, that trial I did where I did the strip in the field with the DS2 and then went over with the ORX, I didn't find a lot with the DS2. And then when I went over with the RX, I found a coin and a musket ball. And I don't think that's any reflection on the DS2. I think that I just love my ORX and I know it inside out and I know it really well. The DS2 is a fantastic multi-frequency machine with so many settings and so many different ways to use it, and you've got the different programs that great detectorists have come up with, like the Hammy program or Technica program, the Magnet program. But yeah, it's just over complex for me. I'm always using my ORX, and again, it's a waste of time and money for it to be sat there getting dusty. So I am selling that too. They're on eBay along with a metal detector that my dad gave me just randomly that he'd found at a car boot or something. I couldn't find anything on the make, actually. It's called like Xenox or something. I'm just trying to look on my eBay now to see what it's actually called. So yeah, I'm currently selling the 3 detectors, the DS2, the Treasure Cove, and this other one as well. So yeah, we will see what we do with those funds that come in from the sale of those detectors. The Xenox TS150. There you go. I was filling time until I found it. It's just a cheapie. It's currently got a bid of £10 on there. Yeah, if you want to have a look, McDoyle is my eBay name. And you'll find all the trash I'm selling there. But yeah, breaking news, getting rid of the DS2, everybody. XPRX. I'm interested in trying a Garrett. So I was going to buy the Garrett Apex, before I bought the RX, and it never happened because it was delayed in coming out. I'm a big fan of a friend of the podcast, Digger Dawn, who's obviously Team Garrett. She's had a lot of success with, is it Arnie Apex that she calls the Apex? Anyway, the Vortex is now out, and that seems like a brilliant machine. So I might treat myself to a Garrett Vortex as my second machine. But who knows? Maybe not. Maybe someone can lend me one. Anybody out there, do you want to lend me one? And I will review it for you. Only honest reviews. But yeah, DS2, fantastic machine. I think maybe it's again to do with my neurodiversity, everybody. My ADHD. Just trying to sit there and learn it and change all the little tweaky things that you can change. It's fantastic. If you enjoy that kind of stuff, that's brilliant. But for me, I just like to sort of go with the RX. There's only two settings you can put in yourself on the RX, and I like that because I've got one for when I'm on stubble that I use the deep mode, and then I've got one that I use when I'm just out and about, and it's a bit dry, so it tweaks the settings so I can get a bit deeper there. Yeah, it's a brand new era, a DS2 free era for me. Okay, random detectorists from my followers on Instagram for February. I have picked Detectorists Limousin. I think they might be French. Lovely. So, scrolling through to see what they were up to. Ooh, they're part of a big team. See lots of blue sweatshirts. Lovely stuff. Oh, I love there's a crest. And it's metal detecting Limousin, which is a region in France. I just had to Google that. And you can see a cow or a bull, because there's horns involved, with the French flag behind. And there's a big old pint of lager or beer. And I just really like the style of that icon. Your logo is fantastic. So if you want to look these folks up, it's Detectorists Limousin, which is Limouzi. Fantastic. So let's see what they were up to. They do lots of group digs. I think this is like a club that follows me. How brilliant. So I'm scrolling. Again, this is part of me not wanting to edit much. So I'm scrolling, back. Let's go back to February. Oh, there's some good poses, some Insta poses going on. Okay, so we can see in February, yeah, just a group of folks all looking like they're enjoying being out and about and doing some chatting, drinking, detecting. Wow, seems like paradise. And there's a gorgeous Labrador dog involved here as well. I can see the guy has got a lovely dog. Wonderful. So hello to you, Detectorists Limousin. Right, what was happening in March? Right, in March I posted myself under a big tree. As you know, I love trees, especially the big ancient ones. I just feel so protective of them. I can see I did a wonderful episode with Marcus Ingram from Regton. Love Regton. As you know, we have a discount code, DH Podcast. So the letters D for Delta, H for helicopter. What is H in the phonetic alphabet? Helicopter, helo, hydrogen. I don't know. DH and then the word podcast. And if you put that in at checkout on the Regton's website, for some but not all items, you might get 10% off. And Marcus was gracious to give me some of his time and talk all about the company and his father and everything his father's done for detecting in terms of the sort of S. Is it called an S? No, an S bends on a toilet, isn't it? But you know, the shape of the stem of the detector. And also the store and all of his personal finds and everything that goes on in the store there. And Seb as well, his son, who's always wonderful to me. So yeah, big shout out to Regton's. Use the promo code. Just give them a call. They're so knowledgeable. In fact, everybody is. I'm sure I haven't worked with Crawfords or LP, but everybody's so lovely. They will give up their time and speak to you about detecting because we all love it so. Anyway, so that was March. What else? Oh, I did a public service announcement about the Detectival tickets going on sale. So it's a bit mad now, isn't it? It's getting a bit like Glastonbury for getting tickets to these events for people. Just plan in advance on those days when you know those tickets are getting out there. I think you need to plan multiple devices. You know, bring in their friends and family, even if they don't detect, see if they can help you out and get some tickets. So I also had an episode with the wonderful Wes and Daz, the Cotswold History Hunters, in March that went out, and that wonderful story of where a life was saved due to metal detecting. So that was fun. And then I had an awesome day out detecting. I found lots and lots of musket balls and buttons by the looks of things. Can't remember which field that was. But yeah, it looks like I had a busy day because on the finds pile there looks to be a lot of items. And as we know, that doesn't include all the rubbish. Probably why my back gave out after a while. Then what else? I had my Perfect Detecting Day episode with Miss Detectress. Oh, I'm so pleased that Ellie is doing so well with her channel. I just love her presenting style, the way she talks about everything. She's so relaxed. She's got so much time for people. And yeah, she's doing really well with her channel. Check out Miss Detectress on YouTube. You will not regret it. And then finally, there was an episode on the 31st of March with Jelly, aka the Metal Detective. Again, another wonderful detectress who gave up her time to speak to me. And she's doing really well as well. Still seeing all of your content there, Jelly. You're doing well. You're finding some awesome things. Saw your cannonball the other day. Oh my God, that's on my bucket list. I haven't found a cannonball. Needs to be done. So yeah, let's find a random Instagram follower and what they were up to in March. Right, I have found Rick's Metal Detecting. Rick's.metal.detecting. Hello, Rick. Nice to see you. And what were you up to in March? Let's see. It's funny, I am going to come up against people that didn't post in March because that happens. Oh, here we go. So I can see in March you are using your Garrett. Lovely, lovely. And I can see you've gone out and found some coins. A fun day. You found a knife, a penknife, a lovely sort of blue glass, what's that, like an inkwell bottle, something like that. You've got a very old padlock. And yeah, you've got some coins. Now, if I zoom in on those coins, 1 cent, there you go. I think with my powers of deduction, you are in the United States of America. Ooh, you are. Look, I can see you've posted about a big old house. That's one thing the Americans do right. In some regards, in that, because there's a lot of space, they always have bigger houses. But then, yeah, what happens, folks, in America? Can you tell me why you build your houses in like Oklahoma and places in wood when you have all those tornadoes? I don't get it. I'm sure there's a very good reason. Can someone let me know? Let me know. Okay, April. So in April, I had Luke, who I mentioned earlier, SND detectorist. He came on and talked to us about how he does his wonderful coin pods. And I also had the wonderful Dominic Chorney, the coin auctioneer. He was fantastic. His tales, all the various different coins that he has seen over the years, and how he collects the coins that have skulls on them. And I got his book after that. That was a fantastic read, just about coins. And he has his book, A Guide to the Coins That Shaped Britain. I can see it now. And his Instagram account is at the.coin.auctioneer. So Dominic does a lot of interesting stuff, going out to boot sales, finding interesting bits and pieces. He collects a lot of things with his other half. I highly recommend going and checking out Dominic, and also the Baldwin's website. If you look out once in a while, you can request that you get sent one of the coin auctioneer guidebooks for the big auction that's happening at the time, and they're fantastic just to look through and see what is in there and whether you fancy a cheeky bid on anything. But again, Dominic's so lovely and so knowledgeable. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that they're very helpful with advice. So do reach out to Dominic if you have any questions on coinage. Okay, April, random follower, Pembrokeshire Outdoors. Okay, you really like detecting and are very successful at detecting, and you really like fishing as well. Oh my goodness, you've caught some big fish, sir. I salute you. Okay, so in April, I can see April the 7th, gold, 1979 Birmingham made signet ring marked AG, found metal detecting this morning, over the moon. I would be too, well done. That's a stunner of a ring. And then also, the post that pulled me in when I first opened your page was a Venetian Soldino Michel Stino silver hammer coin dating 1400 to 1413, found on the fields of Pembrokeshire. So this is why I love metal detecting, you say, as the history of how this Mediterranean coin from the 1400s ended up in a field in Pembrokeshire. Yeah, who was that person? Who bought it there? Who dropped it? What did it mean? Did they get in trouble? Did they not eat that day because they dropped that coin? That's why I love history and metal detecting specifically. You were the first person to pick that up since that was lost all those years ago. Well done to you, sir. I salute you. You do well on your detecting. I'm trying to work out what your machine is. Can't quite tell. Looks like a mine lab, maybe? Yeah, Avery Mine Lab? Not sure, but well done to you, Squire. I'm following you back now. Can't wait to see what next big fish you find. Goodness me, that is a huge fish there. Go and check him out. Right, on to, I've already forgotten, where do we get to? May. What was I doing in May? In May, I had the absolute pleasure of talking to Kath Lang from the Detecting Hub. Kath has been metal detecting for a very long time. She's friends with Holes Hammers, and we had an awesome chat about all of her best finds, spooky occurrences involving a toad, finding a toad, as well as some cows stealing her coat one day. We all have to be careful of the cattle, don't we? I've said it before, I don't risk it. I personally don't risk it, even when they're very, very friendly. They have big heavy hooves and they can accidentally stand on your detector. Same with horses. I'd just rather be in a field on my own, and that comes generally with humans as well. I just love being out on my own and no surprises, apart from the odd hare that runs out in front of us. So yeah, we had the episode with Kath. We did some more Detectorists. We were on season 3 of the Detectorists at that point. We had Aaron, the Anglo-Saxon skeet hunter. We had Ollie, Suffolk searcher. Ollie was very fun to speak to. Perfect detecting day also with Dan, aka Where There's There's Money. So yeah, that was really good. Had a good month. I can see here. So I was not detecting myself a lot in May. I think that's when the trouble started. I was already in pain. So there was a lot of episodes, but not a lot of detecting from myself in May. Let's see what you lot were up to. Right, so follower time for May. I've chosen, now is it Chestrian Digs or Kestrian Digs? You're from Chester. CESTRIAN_Digs. I can see you've got a relatively new account, but you were busy in May. It looks like you were using an Equinox and you'd found your first spindle wool, which are always fun to find, especially the patterns on those. And I can see you've got some coppers. You've got an early Victoria halfpenny. I love the Victoria coins, especially when they come up with that really black patina. You can't mistake a Victorian coin because of that lovely colour when they've been in the ground for a time. It's all to do with the metal content, isn't it? Oh, and I can see you found a Canadian 1940 1 cent. That would have been from the war. Some of the troops over here. You were busy in May. Coin spill. You found some more half pennies there. What else? Oh, you found a pen knife. You were really, really busy in May. Well done to you. I hope you're still enjoying the hobby. I can see your last post was in November time, so you're probably just waiting out this bad weather. But I hope you're loving it. And I am following you back, so well done to you. Okay, on to June. What was I doing in June? Not a lot, probably. Let's see. I put out my History Hunter trading card, a bit like a Top Trump card. I thought it'd be fun to do. Not many other people thought it'd be fun though, but a few people joined in. So on there I put region in the UK. I'm in Hampshire. Years digging 4. So I've been digging for 5 years now. Metal detector. See, I'm quoting DS2 there. I had the DS2 at that time, but that would have to change now. Favourite find, my Henry VIII sixpence. Absolutely love that coin. My only Henry. Favourite terrain is pasture. Who doesn't love a lovely bit of pasture where you can just do a nice 3-sided plug and then plop it back in and no one can see where you've been. Favourite digging snack, Haribo. It's probably been replaced now with a healthy protein bar. Trying to be healthy, trying to build up my protein and my muscle to help with these things like wonky discs. So that was me in June. Were there any other guests to shout out in June? We had some perfect detecting days with Jelly. We had our big competition in June where we were celebrating 10,000 listeners at that time. We're now at 15,000 odd and I haven't even put out any episodes, so I'm really happy with that. Tetris on Tetris was finishing up. And do we have any other guests? There was lots of perfect detecting days. I can't wait for my next perfect detecting day. It's going to be fun. And we announced the winners, and it was so nice doing the competition. And a big thank you to Regtons for donating prizes. I purchased some bits and pieces and gave them out as prizes, and it was nice actually because the main winners really, really enjoyed their big bounty, their big deliveries that they got, so that was fun. And then we're going to be low on content because I obviously hurt my back and I didn't do a lot. August, as I say, was the last time I was out digging, so I will go through and find some of the followers' finds for the rest of the month. So let's see who I can pick out, and then we can wrap up today's episode. Okay, as I was looking for a random person to follow, I found accidentally magnet_shark, a magnet fisher person from Ireland. And you don't have many posts, but what you do have, you actually have a shark mask on you to keep you incognito and mysterious while you're doing your magnet fishing. So it's hilarious. It's angry looking shark, also looking at the same time pleased when they're doing some magnet fishing and pulling out some bits and pieces from the river. So hello to you. wonderful follower. Let's go for someone else for July. What can we find? Scrolling, and stop. We have got Norfolk Unearthed. So Norfolk Unearthed, you have found some musket balls, a halfpenny from 1890 Victoria, and you have the C-scope detector. Wow, proper retro. We see the C-scope in the detectors, don't we? But you know what? If it works, it works. And if you walk over it, you're going to find it. Doesn't matter how fancy a detector is. Some things you're just not going to miss. So good to see you there. Right. We'll do a couple more. And then we'll wrap up the episode. Can't really go month by month now. I will try. I'll attempt it. Future Bleeps. You are there on my feed. Now, you are a wonderful virtual friend, always checking in on me. So check out Future Bleeps on Instagram and their YouTube channel as well, at Future Bleeps. Following them out and about. They're part of Team Regtons. I see you've been swooped up by Regton, and you were detected in America not long ago. I do watch all your videos, you know. So well done to you. I am going to see what you were doing. We just did June, July. Let's see what you were doing in August. Oh, you were out and about, weren't you? You were at the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally. So, yeah, of course. Another one where the tickets are like gold dust, but it is for a fantastic cause. Raising lots and lots of money there for charity. And just such a great event always put on. And I know that sometimes they get a lot of flack, the people that arrange some of these digs. But it's always wonderful, and it's good to see how much money is raised. And everyone has a lovely, lovely time. So well done to the folks over at the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally and Future Bleeps. If you don't follow them, go follow him. Lovely chap. History Unearthed. I can see you on my timeline. You've been busy again, haven't you, with your detector? You upgraded this year. What were you doing in September? September, you were showing off your Roman fibula that you found. Lovely. It's kind of like a bit of a seahorse design, that one, wasn't it? So well done to you. That was September 22nd. Go and check out history_unearthed. And who else do we have on my feed? You can see 34 detecting. Yes. Reggie D, big fan of yours. You're out in Kent in the UK. You're always keeping yourself busy with your detecting. What were you doing in September? Let's have a look. Oh, I can see you were sunning yourself in August, off on holiday. And then, yes, I can see you were out detecting with some lovely detecting snacks. You also had a coin pod with your logo on there, and you'd found some lovely stuff. You found a nice old bit of silver, and you had a lovely thimble. So yeah, well done to you. Who else do we have? Let's go for someone in October. Just whizzing through now. We have got Magnet Fishing Menace. So yeah, you've been out and about, keeping yourself busy. You found the most wonderful big key recently. I do love keys. I've actually got some keys hung up in my office here, just like a big old sort of medieval style key. I wonder if you could do that now for modern doors and say, hey, Mr. Door Salesman, I don't want a boring Yale key. I want one of those massive keys that have to lug around in a briefcase for my front door. That would be more fun, wouldn't it? And then it can sort of act as a self-protection weapon at the same time. So yeah, you've been out and about finding some interesting stuff throughout 2024. I can see that you found what is that? Oh, it's a bike. You must find a lot of junk. I wonder what you do with the junk. I never asked you when you were on the podcast. Do you hire a skip for the day? Something like that. It's easy for metal detectorists. Generally, we can carry the junk around. But if you're pulling bikes and shopping trolleys out of the place, it must be a bit more difficult to dispose of things. Okay, final one. Who are we going to go for? Scrolling. Random. We're going to go for Girl That Digs. Sophie. So you've been very busy, haven't you? You've been finding some great stuff recently. Lots of Hammond coins. A nice fibula back in September. But then towards the end of the year, lots of money fields. Here we go. A Henry VIII coin. You found a Henry VIII coin. Oh, brilliant detail on there. Fantastic. So yeah, that is it from me on the year that was. 45 minutes. See, if I get going on my own, I can talk a load of rubbish for a load of time. But I'm really pleased to be back. I look forward to coming back with a guest. I would really love it if you emailed me with some of your tales and I can read them out on the podcast. Please email me at detectinghistorypodcast@gmail.com or DM me on Instagram, Detecting History Podcast, or Katie Metal Detects. If you have any stories, any tales, any questions. Really interestingly, I've been getting a lot of questions from beginners on the detectors, the metal detectors that I am selling, and just asking for advice. So I think what I will do is I will do a few beginners episodes as well, what you're looking out for, and get some advice from some professionals out there as well on what they think. And then I'll also be trying more in my quest to learn more about history myself. I'll be trying to sort of talk about some of the news articles and things that are going on. Obviously with all of the terrible news last year with the British Museum and all of the thefts and what they've been doing about that, and whether anyone's actually going to ever be prosecuted with what happened there. Just general history throughout the world on things that are being found. Will the Elgin marbles go back? Who knows? Those discussions are ongoing. But yeah, really looking for the year to can't even edit that out. I said I wouldn't edit things out. Really looking forward to the year ahead. And yeah, please reach out. I'm looking forward to chatting to you all. I hope this episode hasn't been too much of a let down and I haven't waffled too much. Happy New Year. What did you get for Christmas, by the way? Did you get anything historical and wonderful for Christmas? Tell me about it. Share your hints and tips with your fellow listeners. Take care, everybody. Speak to you.